Kid from Philly comes to New York and goes into the best kitchens in town and then becomes a media celebrity on television and radio. Mike Colameco, A Life in Food. Well, tell us a little bit about your show on television.
We started, this was, I'm on PBS in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Channel 13 is really who I do it for, because that's with their carriage. It helps me. I produce their show too, which means that I raise the money to make sure the show gets shot and edited out and delivered on time. But the idea came, I was living in North Jersey, Maplewood's the town, and I had a neighbor 2 doors down, and his daughters were my son's age. And they were the only kids, you know, the suburbs around here, kids get on the bus in the morning and then they all go to after school programs because everybody's busy, parents are busy. My kids were the only kids that came off on that bus at 3 o'clock. And Kirk's daughters did too. So he was at my house a lot to pick up his daughters when he came home from work. He's a cameraman for NJN, so he's a shooter. And his wife was, is an art teacher. And anyway, so they were over my house a lot, just picking up the kids, and I always make too much food, so I'd say, Kirk, stay for dinner. And he had this idea in 1998, 1999, why don't we do a cooking show? I'd never thought of it. Most of what was on that I'd seen was all studio shot. TV Food Network was all studio shoots. PBS was all studio shoots. And I thought, well, what do I know? But if we're going to do something like this, let's do something different. Let's take a show and, you know, take it out on the road, kind of guerrilla documentary style, and I'll be the lens that people can see this world through. So rather, because who would want to watch me cook? I mean, I never got that. Like, what am I going to do, make a burger different than the next guy? I mean, those shows were done. But what I had was access to kitchens and chefs and stories, because that's to me what's interesting. That's the narrative that drives it. So the thought was, let's just come up with a show that's thematically driven, shot on location. At the end, I'll cook something that kind of brings it all together. And we did. We went out and shot up. He talked me into it. I remember. I really didn't want to do it. And the first day, we did a piece on a diner in Summit, New Jersey, a great diner, and I stayed up extra late that night and had an extra Armagnac, so I was really hungover in the morning. And we had to get up at 5 to do this thing, and I, you know, felt like I probably should have. But we went back and watched the reels, and it looked good. I mean, it actually looked fun to watch, and I thought, if I can do this hungover, this is a good job. I'm liking this. I'm in.